Welcome to Translate, a channel for intelligent and curious people like you who are searching for human sexuality in the age of artificial intelligence. And in this channel, we usually try to find best possible answer to a question that usually haunts us, sometimes for centuries, sometimes for very recent time, because it's an AI age, and there are a lot of new crises generated every day. Our talking point today is midlife crisis. What is midlife crisis and how we can tackle it? I would like to break it down this video in two parts. Today, I will discuss about what is midlife crisis. We try to understand how it affects our life, whether it's a crisis or we have made it a crisis. Rather, in other words, maybe we might have some misunderstanding about this whole affair. So, let's start. But before we proceed, let me tell you one thing. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. It means a lot to me. And if you have already subscribed, lots of thanks. And I don't promote any kind of vulgarity through this channel. Now, come back to our topic. Basically, it might surprise you to learn that a midlife crisis isn't a mental health diagnosis. In fact, experts have been debating over the same topic for decades. Whether midlife crises are real at all, whether we should call it a crisis, and there is no good answer till today. What we do now and what we can do now is try to understand the whole problem, the whole picture as a whole. Now, we know so far that there is some evidence that reported happiness index and all other things you may have heard about it appears to drop for people between ages 40 and 60, which we call the midlife, the danger zone. Exactly. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, trusted source, also reports that this age group, that means between 40 and 60, has the highest rates of depression. Now, whether midlife crisis is directly related to depression or not, whether there is a pattern, it's not established yet. But it's evident that in this age group, people belonging to this category, that means between 40 and 60, maximum suffer from depression. Why are the rates of depression so high, and where did the idea of a midlife crisis come from? Does it come from that depression level? There are a few answers to this, and I say that in this video we try to understand what is midlife crisis, and the next video we will talk about how we can tackle it. So don't forget to watch the next video in the same playlist. One reason is thought to be that midlife is the life or the range, that means 40 to 60, where for the first time many people are no longer able to think of themselves as young. Of course, when you enter 40, you no longer physically active like 20 or 30. It's biological kind of thing, and it affects us mentally. Not all people, but to some extent, most of us. This change in thinking can force people to rethink everything about their lives, including their marriages and careers, of course. And in this AI age in particular, in the last 2 years, we have seen a lot of layoffs. And in the coming years, we are going to see a lot of layoffs looming before us. almost 50% of job will change its role, if not replaced altogether. So there are a lot of changes are going to happen in the coming 10 or 20 years. That might be a part of why midlife is associated with a high rate of divorce and marriage trouble, because people start rethinking everything about their past lives, about their marriages, about their relationships, about everything. Additionally, people in midlife is generally settled into their careers and might realize that they have not achieved the thing they wanted to. They could have achieved more. And sometimes they blamed themselves of this failure. Actually, that is not the failure. If you see the glass half empty, then it's half empty. If you see the glass half full, then it's half full. And the fact is, these people think this the glass is half empty. Problem lies here. Fortunately, midlife doesn't have to be a crisis at all. I need to tell you one thing and be very optimistic about it. It's not at all a crisis at all. In fact, midlife is a fantastic time because in this period, there are a lot of positive changes come to your life, especially logically thinking, rationally thinking. You enter a zone where you are matured, you can think more logically, more rationally, and based on your past experiences, you can analyze the whole perspective in a more rational way. So rather than buying a sports car on a whim, try following some doing some other things that I'm going to talk about in my next video. So don't do anything on your impulse, because the most imminent, most important problem of the midlife is people become more impulsive at this stage. So beware of it. Self awareness is very important in this case. Anyway, we'll talk about it more in the next video. So till then, goodbye, take care, and stay safe.